By the time this patch of dirt becomes a building, 30 machines will have touched it. Not one of them shows up by accident. Each one arrives the moment the site hits a problem only it can solve. Learn that order, and you can read any job site on Earth.
Everybody can name an excavator. Almost nobody can read the order they arrive in.
You don't pick a machine because it's big. The ground, the load, or the material picks it for you. Watch. First problem. Dirt won't move itself. That's the excavator. A single scoop of that steel bucket can match a full day of one person digging by hand. And it isn't just a digger. It's a lifter, a pusher, a crane, and a hammer in one. For tight spots, you bring a skid steer, the site's utility knife. It goes from bucket to forks to auger to breaker in about a minute. Then you have to carry the spoil. Short hops, that's a wheel loader, hinged at the waist so it turns tight. Quick pro move, by the way, it isn't a loader, it's a wheel loader. Add the drive style to the front and you sound like you've spent time on a site. But moving dirt is the easy half. The hard half is making that dirt hold a building. Hold that thought. For the long hauls, you load a dump truck. Watch the extra axles drop down. Those spread the weight so the truck stays legal under bridge limits. Off-road, it's an articulated hauler. Need to move a lot at once? A scraper cuts, carries, and dumps the soil in one pass. That's how the big highway and dam embankments get built. On a small site, a backhoe is an excavator and a loader married together. The bulldozer can't haul far, but on those tank tracks it spreads literal tons at ground level. And the last one on the digging train is the trencher. Think of a giant chainsaw for the earth, cutting the long, narrow slot that pipe and cable drop into.
Now here's the part nobody films. Loose dirt is useless. Drive on it and it settles.
So the site's next job isn't moving earth anymore. It's making earth carry load. First, the grader. That long wheelbase exists for one reason. It averages the bumps into a dead flat grade. But flat isn't enough. The soil has to hit a density number or it settles later, and that's the roller compactor. Smooth drums for most soils and asphalt. A sheep's foot drum, the one with the feet, for clay and silt. Pneumatic tires to knead and seal the surface, and most of them vibrate to shake the grains tight. Then the surface itself. An asphalt paver lays a dead-even mat through a heated screed, while a wand riding a string line keeps the elevation exact. If the road is concrete instead, a slip former extrudes the curb, the barrier, even a whole slab in one continuous run with no formwork at all. Which is almost funny, because our last episode was all about formwork. Quick breath, because half of what's on a site has no wheels at all. When a road wears out, you can't just pave over it forever, or pretty soon you'd be building walls. So an asphalt mill grinds the old surface off with a spinning drum and belts it straight up into a trailing truck. That's why roadwork moves as a paving train. Truck, paver, rollers, all rolling as one. And parked around the edges are the quiet ones. A light tower so the crew can work past dark. An air compressor feeding the jackhammers and sandblasters. A diesel generator for power where there's no grid.
Up to now, the material's been bulk. Now it turns into objects. And the enemy flips from digging to tipping.
And the enemy flips from digging to tipping. A pipe layer lowers big sections of pipe into the trench. And yes, the workers who run them are also called pipe layers. A telehandler is an all-terrain forklift, and its boom telescopes out to set a load exactly where you want it. And if you're the load yourself, a boom lift or a scissor lift raises people better and safer than any ladder, while a bucket truck takes care of the power poles. Now, every crane past this point exists for one reason. The last one would have tipped over. An all-terrain crane drives itself down the highway to the job. A rough terrain crane, up on those huge tires, has to be hauled in, but it goes where highway trucks can't. The choice between them is pure physics. Load times distance is the moment that tips the machine. Bigger again, the crawler crane rolls on tracks, lifts immense loads, and reaches higher than anything we've seen, built up from boom sections, counterweight, and extensions called jibs. In demolition, it swings a wrecking ball. Then the tower crane, a counterbalanced arm on a tower so tall it needs other cranes just to put it together. There's even a launching gantry that builds a bridge out ahead of itself, standing on the span it just finished.
Everything so far has sat on top of the ground, so the site goes down, reaching for rock it can't even see. A
pile drill rig bores a deep shaft, drops a steel cage in, and fills the whole thing with concrete. It's a close cousin of the rigs that drill for oil and gas. Or you do it the other way, and hammer the pile down to depth with a pile driver, one strike at a time. And now the material starts fighting the clock. A mixer truck spins the concrete the whole way to the site, because concrete only has so long before it starts to cure. I'll forgive you for calling it a cement truck, but cement is just one of the ingredients. When the chute can't reach, a concrete pump takes over, and because concrete is more than twice as dense as water, these run at over 100 times atmospheric pressure. A ride-on trowel floats a big slab smooth once it starts to set. A mobile batch plant makes the concrete right there on site when you need it by the mountain. And when it has to go on a wall or a slope, shotcrete sprays it on with compressed air. Rock faces, tunnels, even swimming pools. Then the truck pulls away, and that's exactly where our last episode picked up. The most dangerous hours are the ones nobody's watching. A few you'll be lucky to spot at all. Directional drilling threads utilities under a road with no trench. A tunnel boring machine is a moving factory that eats solid rock. A soil nail rig pins a slope together. Wick drains squeeze the water out of clay so the ground settles faster. And that's a site.
You just watched a patch of dirt turn into a building, and you can read every machine on it now.
So next time you drive past a site, don't count the machines, read them. Tell me in the comments what stage it's in. And next episode, we get into the one machine on this whole list that's killed more workers than any other.